5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Demanding answers. Tornado victims get to be heard.
To make sure that they know what the hurts and the pains that people are struggling with.
Tonight, the raw emotion and hard questions for local leaders.
Severe storms are not in the forecast anytime soon. In fact, the most comfortable air in a while is moving in. It also brings an air quality alert for Friday due to wildfire smoke. We're tracking the impacts.
Our top story, deadly force. A police investigation turns fatal in the Hyde Park neighborhood.
These are very dangerous individuals.
Is it concerning? Definitely.
At this hour, the continuing search for other suspects. For nearly 9 hours, police have been searching for those suspects. It started with an innocent man who was carjacked. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. The deadly shooting involving police officers happened in the Hyde Park neighborhood. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend has the latest, including reaction from neighbors.
Police say shortly after 1 Thursday morning, a man visiting St. Louis from out of town suddenly had a gun pointed at his face and was carjacked near Blair Avenue and Palm in the Hyde Park neighborhood.
It was violent. The individual who was carjacked was thrown from his vehicle.
These are individuals that have absolute no care whatsoever in their bodies for any human life.
Investigators say about 12 hours later, officers found the man's stolen Ford Fusion about a mile away near North 20th and Salisbury. Police were watching it when they say another car with several people inside pulled up. Officers say when they approached, one armed man took off running. Investigators tell us officers chased the suspect and gave him several commands to drop the gun. They say he then ran back there in an alley, engaged officers, and shots were fired. EMS workers tried to save the man, but he died here at the scene.
These are very dangerous individuals.
No officers were hurt. Officers recovered this weapon with an extended magazine. They spent hours searching for the other suspects.
They are likely to commit other violent crimes in our community, especially when they're targeting innocent people.
I see a lot of redevelopment. I see a lot of positive changes.
Neighbors don't want to see what they call a violent, isolated crime tarnish their Hyde Park neighborhood. This woman and her husband have lived here for 15 years.
Taking the necessary precautions to make sure that my family is safe, make sure that I'm safe, make sure that, I'm aware of my surroundings. Is it concerning? Definitely.
Criminals are looking for opportunity to find victims. Don't be a victim.
Police now reminding neighbors to always stay vigilant as officers keep searching for the suspects.
Know that we're coming for them because they need to be taken off the street.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police say the deceased suspect was between 18 and 22 years old. They have not determined if he was actually involved in the carjacking. The 40-year-old officer who shot him has 9 years of law enforcement experience.
Right now, St. Louis police are investigating a shooting at a gas station that left a woman in critical condition. This happened around 9:15 at a Conoco on Goodfellow in North City. Police say an adult female was shot. We're still working to learn more information about the incident. Tonight, much of the northern United States is under an air quality alert from Canadian wildfire smoke. This is video from Minnesota, and you can kind of see that it's blanketing Minneapolis. And that smoke is looking to cause some problems in the bi-state tomorrow.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here to break it all down.
It's been spreading across the upper Midwest. We've been protected by that heat dome from the smoke, but now that the heat dome has pressed south and our winds have turned to the north, we've been consistently watching all day long that low-level wildfire smoke make its way towards St. Louis. And now we are in the orange category. Now, for the day, we won't be orange, but tomorrow we will be orange throughout the day. And you can see it even looking tonight. Look at the billboards there along 4455 going south. We're talking about some haze that's come in. That's that wildfire smoke. You can already start seeing it. You may be able to smell it, especially farther northeast of St. Louis up towards Carlinville and Jerseyville. So we have an air quality alert tomorrow. It includes all of Illinois. It includes the metro St. Louis area. To be honest, I think we could really put Pike, Lincoln, Warren County, and St. Genevieve, St. Francis, Perry counties in this too, because it's definitely going to back in along the river. What that means is if you have lung problems or you're going to be outside exercising a lot tomorrow where you're really deep inhaling, you probably want to mitigate that and limit it. Otherwise, it is comfortable. We're in the 70s right now, and tomorrow morning, we're out the door with temperatures starting out in the 60s.
If you're a survivor of the May 16 tornado that struck St. Louis and you haven't applied for assistance from FEMA, the clock is ticking.
And we are less than 2 weeks away from the application deadline. As 5 on your side's Brent Solomon explains, it is one of several issues as frustrated neighbors sounded off at a community forum tonight.
What specific actions will the city take to address the widespread insurance failures affecting tornado victims?
You ask, government officials answer.
But at the leadership of Senator May, not only were we able to secure $100 million that would go directly to the city of St. Louis towards recovery funding from the state, but also deductible reimbursements.
A community forum Thursday night at the St. Paul AME Church as our area continues on that road to recovery. Senator May acknowledges getting that funding wasn't an immediately easy sell.
If you know the discriminatory policies that were in place that prevented the area from being insured in the first place, it was a law. Even after that, the area was redlined so bad, insurance companies were still under-insuring the area.
Now a big focus turns to August 11th, the deadline to apply for FEMA assistance.
We have over 5,500 impacted homeowners who have yet to file with FEMA. We're trying to reach them.
You can still be eligible for all the various programs if you don't have the insurance paperwork yet, if you don't have the deed or title yet. The important part is getting in the initial applications, that you have an application number past the deadline. We are doing all that we can to get that deadline extended.
Community organizers say it's important to keep this information circulating. That's why on Saturday there will be a disaster recovery assistance workshop for the community. Staff on site helping people with their claims for FEMA help. That will happen at the Better Family Life Center on Page Boulevard from 12 until 4 p.m. Saturday. I'm Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
St. Louis Mayor Kara Spencer also provided an update on tornado relief today. She says all tornado victims are exempt from water bill collections that are starting to back up. The pandemic-era moratorium is now lifted for everyone outside of the tornado zone. She also says the city is working to extend the deadline to apply for FEMA aid. City leaders are also focusing on more housing opportunities, working with groups like the Urban League and the Red Cross.
Tonight, businesses on Del Mar have some help after the tornado ruined renovations and slowed sales. Steve's Hot Dogs hosted a community relief event where more than 20 checks were put into the hands of businesses. Del Mar Main Street raised more than $100,000 for the relief effort. This money is meant to keep businesses afloat after the tornado destroyed many buildings and weeks of income. The tornado hit close to just a year after several new businesses opened.
The tornado just hit us and kind of just really killed that momentum. And we're raising money to get the businesses back open. And we want folks to come out here, spend money.
The business owners got up to $5,000 to start to rebuild.
An update tonight on the major animal rescue in Christian County by the Humane Society of Missouri. The state's largest shelter reports tonight that a total of 224 animals were rescued over 2 days from a hoarding case. The Humane Society's Animal Cruelty Task Force made 2 trips to safely remove 211 dogs, cats, birds, and a rabbit from the property. The team returned this morning for the rest. They are being evaluated, and once cleared, they'll be available for adoption. To make room, the shelter is waiving adoption fees on all dogs over 35 pounds. Tonight, a teenager is in critical condition after a miraculous rescue in St. Francis County. 13-year-old Dakota Cody Trinkle Jr. was missing for more than 3 days and was found injured but alive yesterday at the bottom of a ravine after a massive search. Canine Daryl picked up the scent and navigated through steep, overgrown terrain, dropping 240 feet into a ravine. The bloodhound from the Farmington Correctional Center's K-9 unit found Dakota alive but with a bad head injury. He'd been in the ravine for more than 76 hours without food or water.
He's definitely a fighter. He was raised to be a fighter. My whole family were all fighters, so he knew what to do.
Cody's family started a GoFundMe to help cover medical expenses, and you can find that right now on KSDK.com under the As Seen on TV section.
A strike at several bi-state Boeing plants is looming after Boeing offered what they call their best and final offer. Workers overwhelmingly rejected a deal last week that included a 20% pay raise. Union leaders told the St. Louis Business Journal it was because Boeing wanted to change work schedules. That's now off the table. The new offer includes a $5,000 signing bonus if approved by August 3rd, plus a better pension. Union members will vote on the new offer on Sunday morning.
And a Boeing property in North St. Louis is under fire from Missouri Senator Josh Hawley. Hawley is calling for answers from the plant after a chemical spill made its way into Coldwater Creek. Hawley has been very involved in this region as the Coldwater Creek already had some contamination because of the Manhattan Project. The senator wants Boeing to answer if anyone was harmed by a recent spill and if they will do anything to fix it. In a letter sent to Boeing today, the senator said in part, quote, "You must continue to work to remedy this latest spill and ensure it never happens again. The spill threatens the lives and health of residents in my state."
Well, we are just a couple of hours away from tax-free weekend in Missouri. All qualifying purchases made in-store or online this weekend will be exempt from all state and local sales taxes. This includes clothing, school supplies, and computers. For everything you need to know about the tax-free weekend, just text the word tax to 314-425-5355 and we'll send you a link. Teaching the future.
Things are changing, and I'm in my 50s and I want to change with them.
How teachers pack a St. Louis summit, all eager to master artificial intelligence.
Better air in two ways. It's cooler and less humid, but wildfire smoke is also being brought in from Canada with this high-pressure system. The impacts that brings for Friday and why the weekend otherwise gets off to a fantastic start.
Plus new information in that random Arkansas attack that left 2 parents dead.
In my 27 years that I've been with the state police, this is probably one of the most heinous that we've had.
How the parents kept their kids safe during the deadly encounter.
Tonight, new details in the double murder case in Arkansas where a couple was killed while hiking with their children. In a news conference just hours ago, investigators say Clinton Brink was attacked first as his wife, Kristen Brink, took their kids to safety. Kristen then went back to help her husband, where she was also killed. Police arrested Andrew McCann, a former teacher in Oklahoma, at a barbershop yesterday. Police say the case is one of the most difficult they've seen.
They absolutely protected those girls to their fullest extent, to the point that it cost them their lives.
The kids were not injured. Police say the attacks seem random.
If you have a student loan, your balance may go up tomorrow. The change affects borrowers enrolled in the Savings on a Valuable Education Plan. That is the income-driven plan the Biden administration launched to decrease monthly payments. Legal challenges have paused payments and frozen balances since last summer. Now interest will be applied again starting tomorrow. People with student loans can still be granted forbearance, according to the Department of Education, letting them delay their monthly payments. Well, tonight, artificial intelligence is coming to the classroom, and to prepare, a summit took place in St. Louis to educate.
Justina Coronel takes us to Lime, where more than 150 teachers were eager to learn.
At Hancock Place Elementary, students listen and learn.
So right now the big focus is artificial intelligence and how it is impacting schools.
These aren't your everyday scholars.
Dipping my toes in, like, I bet you the water's gonna be okay, but I'm not sure, and now I'm like diving in. I'm so excited.
These are teachers.
Things are changing, and I'm in my 50s, and I want to change with them.
Embracing change is Heather Moomey, along with 160 attendees from 16 school districts at this year's AI Educator Summit.
For 2 years, AI has been
really hot topic, I think, in education.
Which pushed this year's theme to be artificial intelligence, forming a 2-day conference with 70 sessions.
I try to spend time talking to the teachers about how AI is not here to take their job, it's here to help them do their job better.
Technology coach Eric Kurtz recognizes there can be some resistance.
We have people that come with folded arms like, what is this AI thing? Is it going to take my job?
That's why this keynote speaker not only guides them to spot problems.
Yesterday I did an entire session called Did a Robot Write This Report? Managing AI Cheating.
But to also welcome the technology.
Let's say they're learning about sharks in science class. Well, we can ask Gemini or ChatGPT to pretend to be a shark. And the students can interview a shark and they can ask it questions that they're interested in, things that go beyond just what the textbook provides. And that can engage students, it can bring them into the learning experience while helping them to cover the content that we're wanting them to learn.
Just like many others, Hancock Place School District is already prepping parents and pupils.
Our focus for this school year is really to immerse them in AI and see how they can make it work in their classroom, how they can expose their students to it. For our kids going into kindergarten this year, we're getting them ready for jobs that we have no idea what they even are.
While teachers soak in all this information, their minds have always been on their students.
What I've learned the most, I would say, is that I can make this a more meaningful experience for me and for the students every day.
Justina Cornell, 5 on your side.
Just last week, the U.S. Department of Education released its guidance for school districts, encouraging them to adopt more AI tools. It said this would enhance classroom efficiency and improve teacher training and evaluation.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Scott Cano rejoins us now. He is tracking the latest forecast. We have much cooler temperatures, but we also have that issue with smoke particles.
Yeah, we've got to deal with the wildfire smoke, and those little particles can get in your lungs and can cause problems tomorrow. It's unhealthy for sensitive groups. Now, at some point, for an hour or 2 or 3 or maybe longer, it probably does go into the red category for some of us tomorrow, but it's a 24-hour average that you get. So from midnight to midnight is what the air quality will be for tomorrow in the particles, and it will end up being at least in the orange. And if you have lung problems, that's an issue. You want to try to avoid being outside as much as possible with this. It's all day tomorrow. We're already starting to see that wildfire smoke filter in right now. Unhealthy for sensitive groups, and it could be unhealthy for all of us. So we're going to try to limit our time outside to some degree tomorrow, which I know is hard considering we've been limiting as much time as we could outside because of the heat and humidity, and now that's gone. Now we have to deal with the smoke tomorrow. So that is really our only impact. As we head towards the weekend, we're still thinking that the smoke thins out some on Saturday. The air quality improves. It's all because of this big high pressure, which has brought us the relief. It's over the Great Lakes, but it's also with that wind out of the north and northeast, dragging down this wildfire smoke. And now much of the region has gone into the orange air quality within the last hour. Again, that's just within the last hour or two. It's a 24-hour average. So we won't be there today, but tomorrow we will. We'll start tomorrow morning with temperatures in the 60s. Don't think we're going to get there before the cutoff here for the low tonight. 72 was our low this morning. 79, though, was all we could do with the clouds around today. Tomorrow, we're already starting to see the clouds break up in a lot of spots. It's kind of hazy with the smoke. I think we're going to deal with that tomorrow, too. That should keep us from getting above 80 degrees. Saturday into Sunday, we are talking about a scrumptious weekend across the bi-state area. Once that wildfire smoke thins out some on Saturday, the air quality should improve. We're around 80 degrees. Sunday, we're looking at highs just 2 or 3 degrees warmer. Maybe a few showers trying to creep across Kentucky and Tennessee, southern Indiana, towards us for the beginning of next week. But it's not a big rain chance the way it looks right now. If you're heading to the area lakes this weekend, because it's the first weekend in August, we're starting to count down the number of weekends we can get into some fine weather at the lakes. Water temperatures warmer than the actual air temperatures in many cases. Your 7-day forecast, the air quality alert tomorrow, but otherwise it's incredibly comfortable. We're at 80 degrees, the humidity backing off. Dew points tonight, they are down into the lower 60s. Remember, they were around 80 just a couple of days ago. Yesterday really wasn't that comfortable either. Now we're comfortable, And it's really delightful if we just didn't have that wildfire smoke tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we get through that, and then I think the rest of the weekend's good.
All right, Scott, thanks. Corey is here with sports.
Well, the Cardinals sold at the deadline all the way down until the final minute. We'll hear from John Mozeliak and break down their deadline dealing next in sports. It's the day that's been circled on the Cardinals' calendar since the season began. How would this team handle the trade deadline? There was some movement for John Mozeliak's last hurrah, but not exactly any surprises. It was no secret who was on the trade block for the Cardinals this deadline. The biggest bullpen domino fell on Wednesday, with closer Ryan Helsley going to the Mets in exchange for 3 prospects, including shortstop Jesus Baez, a former top 100 prospect. John Mozeliak said he didn't want to let a trade for a prized asset like Helsley come down to the last moment.
A lot of times I think in this business, everybody thinks like the longer you wait, the better the deal. I was scared that the longer we wait, the music might stop and we might still be standing.
Wednesday night, the Cards dealt lefty reliever Steven Matz to the Red Sox in exchange for first baseman Blaze Jordan, a former Chaim Bloom draft pick and high school phenom. He's now 22, with an .872 OPS in the minors this season. The final reliever to be dealt was Phil Maton to the Rangers for 2 prospects, and it came right down to the wire.
I think we actually got the Texas deal in with like 1 minute and 8 seconds.
The trio of relievers were the only ones to be moved, but they weren't the only players Mozeliak got calls about.
I will say we got hit a lot on our left-handed hitters. We were not motivated to move players that we had under control unless we were, well, to put it mildly, blown away, and we just weren't.
Now, Mo's final trade deadline has come and gone, with a focus squarely on the future.
I wish we were on the other side where we were looking to add versus break up. You know, look, when I get off this Zoom, I'm going to clean up my office. I'm going to head home and I'm probably going to have a cocktail. And, you know, reflecting back on what we were able to accomplish, I hope in the end it's viewed in a positive way. And, you know, as you know, trades are not judged on just the moment, but also in time. The goal of this trading deadline period was about the future. And I don't think it's necessarily about the immediate future. It's about the long-term view of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Elsewhere around the league, it was a very busy deadline. Here's a look at some of the action. In the NL Central, the Cubs made the most noise. They acquired utility man Willie Castro, starter Mike Soroka, and old friend reliever Andrew Kittredge. The Padres made arguably the biggest splash of any team. They traded a top 3 prospect in baseball in a package to the Athletics for flame-throwing closer Mason Miller and starter J.P. Sears. San Diego also traded with Baltimore for slugger Ryan O'Hearn and outfielder Ramon Laureano. The Twins had a fire sale. As part of it, they reunited Carlos Correa with his old team, the Houston Astros. The Phillies, well, they were active as well. They got shutdown closer Johan Duran last night, and then old friend Harrison Bader today.
This 5 on Your Side St. Louis City SC coverage is sponsored by Together Credit Union.
It was another loss for City SC last night. This one doesn't really sting, though. It was a 2-1 defeat to one of the top teams in the Premier League, Aston Villa, and an exhibition friendly at Energizer Park. City did have a chance at taking the game against mighty Villa last night. They came up just a bit short. 25 players appeared for City in the game, including their newest addition. Falou Fall, a 21-year-old defender from Senegal, made his City debut against Aston Villa. We caught up with him today at practice, where he talked about coming to America.
Yeah, before when I was young, it was like my dream country. And yeah, when I signed here, and I was like so exciting to come here. I say like, yeah, now I have my dream, and I complete my dream now, and everything is nice.
Mizzou football has another coaching contract extension. Today it was defensive coordinator Corey Batoon signing on to stay with the program through 2027. 2024 was Batoon's first year leading the Tiger defense, which ranked 17th in the country. So some moves from the Cardinals today, none that surprised anybody. We know those 3 guys were going to go. They could have, it sounds like, maybe moved an outfielder. They got a couple calls, as you heard John Mozeliak say, but decided not to.
And the pieces they got, that is not for this year or next year, maybe not even the year after.
You might see Blaze Jordan sooner than later, but the rest of the guys, it's going to be a while.
Yeah. All right, Corey, thanks.
Coming up, not your typical traffic stop, a St. Louis County officer's unexpected encounter. St. Louis County Police pulled off an unusual traffic stop this week. An officer spotted an alpaca wandering along Highway 367 in North County. Police say the animal was safely taken off the highway and no one was hurt.
Tonight on 5 we revisit our coverage of the Great Flood of 1993. See the moment severe flooding hit our area and how communities came together to rebuild. Here's a sneak peek.
Earlier news that Chesterfield's Monarch levee had broken ignited workers to shovel harder, bag faster.
Every time it seems like we lose a levee or we lose some sandbags around houses, it seems to me honestly like the people get more determined. And they are in here like you say. Though I don't hear anybody griping. They keep coming back and they try harder.
You can download the free 5+ streaming app on your Roku, Apple, Fire, or Samsung TV to watch the program.
Final check of our forecast.
Well, tomorrow we have to deal with the wildfire smoke, which is filtering into the area now. If you've been outside, you notice it's a little more hazy. You're going to see that tomorrow. Air quality is orange tomorrow, force for the metro area, all of Illinois under that air quality alert. Otherwise, the humidity has dropped. Temperatures are much more comfortable. At least we're dealing with the wildfire humidity while not at the same time dealing with heat index values in the triple digits.
There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 4 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.